Alright, let's get started. Welcome back, everyone. And also, hey, it's Socks. Yeah, she is back. Ready to knock stuff off my desk. Ready to beg for, well, she doesn't beg for treats, she stares for treats. So yeah, I'm hoping everyone's going well tonight. We're going to jump straight back into it. We are implementing the API. So we need to get the done section done. We need to add in the errors. We need to add in the profile information, two-factor URLs. And we need to fix the templates. All right, cool. Oh, and we need to do the reCAPTCHA. So, yeah, we're getting there. We are getting there. Oh, Socks, she's moved off to her bed. She's coming back. There you go. Yep. There you go. Cool. Cool girl. She's a bit upset at the moment. And Pitfin, how are you? Socks and Patty have met each other, so due to a disaster, I was meant to keep them in two separate rooms. Anyway, they escaped and they met each other and they weren't happy. Today's been a little bit better. It's Socks that's been doing the growling and grumpy, and not Patty. So yeah, all right, oops, Socks. Already she's trying to cause destruction on a streaming scale. She's trying to delete half my work. All right, in your bed, you remember what this is about, Socks. I'll try and get the camera set up. It's been a while since I've had to do this. Okay. And how are you, Pippin? In your bed? You know where to go. In your bed. So some good news on the cat introduction side of things. Before stream, Socks went up to Patty, hissed at him, and then walked off. And Patty just sat there going, yeah, what? So if he keeps doing that, Socks will stop hissing soon. So yeah. She's just, don't go all the way up to the camera. She's like, okay, there you go. She's still being very dramatic. So, yeah. Alright, we've just got to implement the two-factor, which shouldn't be too hard to do. Well, kind of friendly. I mean, Socks is still hissing. But yeah, hopefully it'll calm down. I think because it's a lot easier if they're really, really old. And Socks is 10, Patty's 15. I think at the end of the day, they just want somewhere to sleep. So yeah. We'll see. The big test is tomorrow because we've got friends coming around. We'll see what poor little Socks does. Okay, so 2FA, yeah, we're just gonna do this. Almost friendly, yeah, almost friendly. Yes, at least they're not going after each other and attacking each other. So, yeah. Hopefully tonight, Socks just sleeps in the bedroom. I think Patty will be fine on the couch. I mean, he doesn't sleep anywhere else. So I think if he's happy on the couch, that'll be perfect. And once again, Socks is banging the webcam. Where was I? Two-factor. I'm just going to debug this. Ooh, we're on our first ad break. There you go. We get to see Socks in all her glory. She's trying to take out the camera again. Oh, all right, sucks. There we go. How's this? There you go. You're on camera. Yeah. Yeah, there you go. Show off your little collar. And she's like, yeah. 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 Okay, there we go. And for those on YouTube, we run ads every half an hour on our Twitch channel to stop the pre-rolled ads. You guys just don't get ads, so yeah, welcome. You get to see this. I usually solve a cube. However, Socks is taking over the camera at the moment. There she goes. She's trying to put it in a better angle so it's both of us. Yeah, don't know that angle's perfect. No. As you can tell, she likes to cause trouble. I'm actually going to put this into this mode. The reason being is so people don't get motion sickness. There we go. Okay. We're still on ad time. So, almost there. And welcome back, everyone. Okay. So, adding in the done section, that will be all of this. We'll have to do the recapture in there too, but I need to add the recapture onto the view. We'll need to add in the errors, add in the profile information, two-factor URLs. Fix the templates for the profile information two-factor. Yeah, we'll need to do all of that. So, going to templates two-factor. We know we hit the base focus. I'm just wondering if we nick all of this and put it into the base focus. One less file we've got to edit. These are the actions. Okay. We've got the core login. Yeah, I might switch things around just because I don't like how this is laid out. But we'll get there. Won't we, Socks? Just a sec, maybe. Okay. Sorry, you just got to wait for my brain to fully boot up. It's not quite there yet. So, yep. Now we've got the wizard form. So we've got the wizard form as, all right, cool. And we're still doing that as a table, aren't we? All right, I'm gonna remove that as a table. Let's go into localhost 8000. I'm gonna log out. We're gonna build all of this again. Okay, so it's all built. There we go. I'll refresh again for those who hate holds. So, in here, we can't go next without filling out that. Oh, I haven't added any of the... Alright, log out. What was it? Two-factor... Okay, so it sends the person to here, and I think we're going to put the recapture here. The idea is they'll hit this, they'll hit next, and yeah, it'll take them to the correct page. Yeah. Now, getting rid of that as table, that seems to work. The idea, I will eventually combine this down into probably a better laid out sort of thing. I think the base focus is what I want to edit. Yeah. Not 100% sure. But we'll figure it out. So I'm getting distracted with the cube again. Alright. We sent you an email. Please enter the token. Ooh, I haven't done mail trap yet. Another thing is, I don't think I have a reCAPTCHA token yet. Yeah. Okay, I'm gonna need to put in a task to actually do that. Sox has decided to go to bed. Nope, she's back. She knows what she wants. All right, so I'm gonna log out. I am having a bit of a think. Okay, we've got the wizard form. I don't know how I'm gonna have to put it in here. Alright, I'm just having a quick look at what someone else has done. I installed reCAPTCHA 2. Alright. 1. Install reCAPTCHA 2. Check for this lib document how to install. Simple. Create a custom forms to add reCAPTCHA. So we're importing authentication forms. So we extend both forms and we add the field in. in the view login view for the two-factor views.core, update the form list to use the new form. All right, yep. Add the override, something in the view for the reCAPTCHA. Do not validate against if already validated. Okay, so rendering done. Django form runs. Oh, final step. All right, cool. Super get quag step equals step. If self dot should skip reCAPTCHA, quag skip reCAPTCHA errors true. All right, cool. Just wondering. How would I implement this? And there's a bunch of other things I want to do first. We're getting to the point where we're overly customizing this whole entire process. And I kind of don't want to do that. Because the one problem with overly customizing this is we're pulling in code from their code and stuff like that. But what happens in the future is they'll fix their code or they'll implement something, and we've got to actually do that to keep things working on our side. I'm fine with overriding the done. And I'm fine with doing that. Okay. We're going to leave the reCAPTCHA out for the moment. I'm going to have to think about this one. What's it like? Pretty much like working on any other sort of software and stuff like that. I mean, I don't get your sort of question, considering how it's phrased. All right. Let's start adding in the errors and all that kind of stuff. So I'm just going to go down. I am going to do this. We're going to get rid of this one line down here. So we're going to be adding in the new error. So we're going to add in a couple of errors. So we want to have show. I don't know. I ain't worked on stuff like that. I'm interested to learn about what you're cooking. Went to the website. Looks neat. Oh, okay, cool. So I'm building an open source project management system. This is just Socks, my cat. I'll show you. It won't be running at the moment, but because I need to. Now, please note, I am no UI UX developer, so the UI UX is pretty bad. Let's just go admin for the moment. So the idea being is you can gather organization and customer details, you can create Kanban boards, gather user requirements, create projects and tasks from those requirements, and when you're ready, you can deploy using a request for change. So yeah. Use v0 dev if you don't like AI slop and then rep. Sorry, I don't understand what you're saying. Alright, so we kind of need our own errors in there. And how did we do it last time? We've got show group errors. Alright, it looks like I've already formed. Did that already. Vercel made an AI for front-end design. Oh, most devs don't like the AI. Fair enough, fair enough. AI should be used as a tool, not a crutch. The instant you use it as a crutch, you're not going to learn how it works or anything like that, and when something goes wrong, you won't be able to fix it. Now, you can learn a lot of things about programming and stuff like that. You won't be able to learn everything just because there's just too much knowledge out there. It's constantly evolving. But you can learn stuff. Now, I could learn design. I'm just terrible at it. Absolutely terrible. All right, we need to import this. That should be part of the forms. Give me 2 seconds. I know this is part of the forms. Yeah, I thought so. There we go. So in here, show no group errors, get clean data. All right, we're passing through that. Form add error, validation error. We don't want to actually have that in there, do we? No, we want to state what the error is. So, user currently not set up with any groups. Please contact system admin. Because that's taken quite a number of lines. Like that, we'll be fine with that. Then all we need to do is if self.show recapture errors. We're going to put this in anyway. Clean data or nothing. Form.add. Oh, socks. Stop walking on my keyboard and mouse. Add error. None. Validation error. Recapture failed. Alright, cool. It's fun starting out designing websites in Photoshop, and then with the AI boom, I can now, like, in a few days, get my fully functional website and then spam it. Sucks. You're keying everything again. Fucking hell. A month without this, I swear to you. A month without socks actually causing trouble on my stream. And I don't know what happened then, because she keyed this. Sorry. And then AI boom, and now a few days ago, get fully functional website and then spam AI for the backend. So defo use it as a crutch, but I pay attention to it and see what I'm doing. I still wouldn't use it as a crutch. Mainly because I've come across it hallucinating a lot. And I mean a lot. And thank you very much for the follow. I'm just going to call you inactive. So, now, Socks, will you not kick the thing and not raid random people? Alright. So, when it hallucinates, but it's easier for me to learn code this way because I'm not a traditional dev. I can do all the design and stuff, but can't do any of the coding. Coding can be learned. My recommendation, a couple of recommendations. Stop stepping on stuff. Free Code Camp. As a tool, come over here. You're in the naughty corner now. You're all not going over there. And then starting just building small little projects. Build small little things. So there's a lot of information out there that can help you with the coding and so forth like that. No. Because you're causing trouble. Yes, you are. No, you're getting false cuddles. Alright, so if we come across the errors, we're going to do this. And that will add the error into the reCAPTCHA. Alright, sorry, I've got to adjust everything for socks. 1 month without having to do this. I forgot how annoying it is. Okay, so we've done that one. Now we're just got to do the done. And I'm just wondering if we do it with this. Yeah, I'm just going to rewrite the done. And what we're going to do is we're going to open up the authentication view. I'm just putting that on the right for reference. And we're going to go through and check a few things. So, the check first time login, we can import that one. We don't need to worry about that. And the check reCAPTCHA, we can actually import that one. Those are not going to be problems. The login, which is going to be different. Now, if reCAPTCHA, okay, I'm going to do this a little bit different. And what I'm going to do is from .authentication import check first time login and check reCAPTCHA. And then we had one saying check permission denied. All right, I'm not going to worry about that one. We've got permission denied. Oh, permission denied is just one of our test pages. This is a test permission denied. Yeah. And log out. All right. So a lot of this, it's just this one little function that we actually get rid of. This is going to be good. Okay. So check reCAPTCHA. Oh. I'm just having a quick think of how I can do this. We can have guard sort of cases, so if something has not passed, just disappear right away. That could potentially work. Because in the original code, and I wrote the original code a very long time ago. We're talking like, I rewrote it back in 2020. what I could potentially do, if we fail this, I'm gonna, okay, if not, check reCAPTCHA, self.request.post. Okay. What we want to do. See, I've done something a bit confusing over here with the code. I've essentially checked the reCAPTCHA. If the reCAPTCHA hasn't been set up, it's true anyway. And then it'll pass through this and log in. And then if it fails this, it's going to hit this and be like, oh, the user's not authenticated anyway. So it's going to have an error message. And yeah, we want to do this. Okay. User has failed the reCAPTCHA. Cool. We're just stating bloody obvious. So self-storage.reset. Self.show reCAPTCHA error equals true, and then return self.render, go to step, and this will be self.first step, and that's it. Then our next step would be to, we won't authenticate the user just yet. We'll do our next check is check the first time login. Oh, that's always done. Yeah. All right. Okay, so what the first time login does is, and good morning, Aiden, how are you going? Is it make sure that the particular groups have been set up in the system. Yeah, that's all it's doing. I mean, we should have done that via migrations, but we never did. Actually, no, we didn't. We couldn't do it via migrations because default user wasn't there. And Avadoodle, how are you going? Hopefully you're going well. So, we need to check reCAPTCHA. If not reCAPTCHA, it fails, we just send the user off and we're happy with that. Then it checks the first time login. And you're going good, trying to work, but my cat has other plans. Socks has other plans too. I 100% agree with you right now. She's already kicked my screen and did something random. She's already jumped on my mouse multiple times, and she's tried but failed of the good old belly flop onto the keyboard. So yes, she's back. Does your cat watch the stream too? Because your cat's probably been like, you know what, I am going to do what Socks is doing. Next minute, your cat's going to be like, you know what, I'm going to run across your keyboard. So, yeah. Alright. So now that we've done this, we've got to check the group length. Oh, and we've got ads. At time. Alright, you get to see me pat Socks for a little bit. Okay, so just got to think about certain things. Isn't that right, Socks? I mean, that length thing I can put into a simple function. It gets called. Everyone's happy. And so forth like that. So, yeah. Hey, Socks. Nope. She's like, I'm going to cause some more trouble. Yeah, we'll stare at the camera whilst causing trouble. Yeah, we thought so. Everyone's missed Socks, right? Well, good news. The cats have met each other. There's hissing and stuff like that. So, I'm hoping it calms down by tomorrow. But the good news is that the cats, they just stay to their own zone. So, yeah, we're happy with that. All right, and welcome back. Your cat bounces around on and off the desk and walks around. I wouldn't mind if she stayed on the desk, if she stays still, since there's enough space for her. If she stays still, yes. Fully understand. Oh, and let me just check my little attention core. Thank you very much for the follow. Welcome, welcome. I do hope you are enjoying my content and getting stared down by my cat. The next thing we're going to do is we're going to check this, the user account. Now, we can get the user very, very easily by the self.getUser. So what I'm going to do, check the user has groups. So that's user group count equals the length of the user groups. Now we've got to import this from NearBeach.models import user group. Dot objects dot filter is deleted equals false and username equals self dot get user. Easy done. My little kitten is finally getting her own back on her mother. My little kitten manager has caught another cat in their corner. Oh no, they always fight. Oh no. Oh no. Alright, so if the user group count equals, oh, it's been doing a bit of JSON sorry, not JSON, JavaScript lately, so yep. Yeah, 3 months, it's usually 3 months, I have found. If cats, before 3 months, accept each other and stuff like that, then it'll just stop. But if the 3 month mark comes by, they're constantly going to be fighting. Stocks and Lily, if you remember, I'll do her in the drop. Actually, I think, I'm trying to remember, she might have been on some very, very early streams. Yeah, Stocks and Lily used to hate each other, and still do. So yeah, hence Lily's at Manila's mum's. Well, you see the kitten around 2 this year. I think the mum cat is around 4 this year. I think. Ah, fair enough. Yep. Well, hopefully they stop fighting. All right, we just need to do this. User has no groups. So this won't be the, this will be the show no group error. We're quite happy with all of that. So once it passes everything, authenticate user. What we want to do is authenticate them and get and pretty much tell them off. Not tell them off. Tell them to go to the dashboard. So we need this line here. So we need that line there. And then, yeah, we just need this one line here. Maybe not. Maybe I don't need it. Let's have a look. And I am implementing 2FA into NearBeach. So yeah, that's probably going to be for everything. Yeah. I mean, we tried Fellaway and all that kind of stuff, but yeah, it's a long, complicated story. Yeah, they just didn't like each other. We kept them separated, so what we tended to do was we would just pick them up and move them whenever they got close to each other and started hissing and growling at each other. So, yeah. Okay, so I think I'm done with the done. We're just going over here, we're just hitting refresh. We're going to test two-factor first. Alright, so we'll need the token. Non-attribute has... Alright, cool. We need to do the reverse stuff then. Actually, one thing I could potentially do, GitHub, Django two-factor auth, is actually look at the source code and see what they're doing and they're done. So, two-factor. Views. I think it's not utilities. No. Login view. Alright, cool. We're just after the done. Alright, cool. We'll do it how they're doing it. Now, I'm not worried about implementing the device stuff yet. So we'll get rid of that. In fact, all of that can be one line. Oh, hang on. What's this redirect? Django shortcuts. Alright, cool. Okay, return redirect. And what we're redirecting to is self.get redirect URL. I mean, I can leave it like that, but I feel like it's going to be better if we do something like this. Easy done. Okay, so I'm going back into this. I'm going to hit refresh. I'm going to cancel that and just hit like something like that. There we go. We're going to test two-factor first. That's going to send a little email over here. I should clean up my inbox. Ooh, reverse for not found. I actually think this will be better. Oop. Instead of home view, it'll be reverse dashboard. Okay. Let's see what I did to get this to work over here. So URLs reverse. All right, yep. And then HTTP response redirect. All right, cool. So getting rid of that one, from Django URLs, import reverse. From Django.http, import HTTP response redirect. Okay, so I'm going to just hit that again, wait for everything to come back. We're going to go two-factor. We're just going to go to our this. We are going to wait for us to get an email. There we go. And there we go. So we can log in now. Just means we haven't implemented the reCAPTCHA, but we got it there to start doing stuff with it. We need to sort of put it on the page, so to say. Now, I've also got to look up if I need to do anything else. So, yeah. And what I mean by that is how we're going to render it out onto the page. That's the big question. Okay, no problem. We'll figure it out. I'm going to log out. I'm going to test with dark admin. Straight in. All right, sweet. And then, yeah, we should easily be able to do all of this. So the best news is this old def login we can delete. Because it's no longer needed. We're still using the authentication stuff in here for it, which I feel is a really good place to keep that stuff. And all right, so we've done the done section. We've added in the errors. We should also perfect. All right, that error works. I'm just going to open up a new all right, sweet. All right. So I'm just playing with this very, very quickly. I'm just trying to think how I want to tackle this. All right. I'm just testing a quick error. Oops. Trying to pick up Socks' tail and get her off the keyboard. I'm going to have a user with no groups. So there should be one. No group. Sweet. So what we want to do is we want to go no group. There we go. Perfect. Okay. I think that's good for now. I'll probably need someone who has better UI UX design to come through and sort of fix up the fix up this. This is looking pretty average, not gonna lie. Yeah, but otherwise it's functional. at the moment, which is what we want. Okay. So I'm just getting this all done and dusted. I might redo a lot of these photos, just because back then WebP wasn't that crash hot. These photos don't look as nice anymore. As compared to, so that's looking a lot better. That's okay. That's looking amazing. I like that photo. Oh, hold on. There we go. All right. Found a quick bug to fix. We are going to fix it very, very quickly. It's just part of the SAS sort of stuff. So under the source SAS, we've got the login file. This is our login file. We're going to go up into the background. We have the, we want to do background size, and that's going to be cover. That's all we need. So as you see, there's this, you might not see this, there's a seam at the moment. And I've just gotten rid of it. Sweet. So yeah, all the Fiji photos are pretty dark. I like that one. Yeah, all right. I might change how the background stuff all works in the near future, but at the moment, this is all fine. Okay. What was I doing? Going back over here. Sorry, I'm a bit tired tonight. It's Friday. We can you know, play around with a bit. Add in the profile information, two-factor URLs. That's what we're gonna do next. Yeah. Then we're gonna fix the templates for the profile to factor, and then we've got to add in the reCAPTCHA. We haven't re-added it back in. Once again, we want to actually extend the forms and only show the form on one of the pages. But I need to set up reCAPTCHA to do that. Yes. And I mean, we can do that tonight. We can play around with all of that, and then I can get rid of that reCAPTCHA information, because part of me says it's useful. Part of me says it's a terrible. It is a terrible system. Yeah, it's extremely annoying for users. However, it is, I don't want to say somewhat easy way to stop bots, because there are ways around them. And that's the thing, there are ways around it. And there's been times where I've gotten around them. But it is functionality within NearBeach. And it's something we can rip out in the future. Now I've got to assume that people are using it for a particular reason also. And it's only for the login page. Yeah. All right. Okay, let's go back to that post. So they've created add custom forms with reCAPTCHA. How have we done the reCAPTCHA in the past? Let's actually have a look. Let's minimize everything. Let's open up NearBeach. Let's open up NearBeach. Let's go templates. Let's go NearBeach. Let's go authentication. Or we can get rid of the login. We can get rid of this one. Password reset. Oh, we need to actually implement password reset too. That's easy done. That's just copying this. That's just the buttons. It's the login page. All right, I'll need to actually fix up these pages too. Not a problem. That should have sent an... Oh, it's doing it for every single account. Alright, yeah. That's admin, that's team. Oh, let's just hit reset password. Alright, cool, so... Done, and that should... Yep, alright, so that functionality is still working, which is great news. We'll need to actually fix up the URL. So this is where we've got to do the CSS, hyper, link color. Not this one. Link color. Okay. The visited class. All right, cool. So what we'll need to do is we create one of these and we go visited and we go color is going to be I think white will be best. Okay, cool. So that's just another issue that we have. So that will be part of the login dialog, this one. So that will be color is white, and then a visited color. We're going to keep white. It doesn't matter if the person's visited or not. It's just a simple link. So if we go back here, we've got forgotten password. Someone can click on that. Someone can then send their email and stuff like that. So if we go into one of these reset passwords, go here, we reset the password. Yeah, cool. Easy done. All right, so on this particular page, we're looking for the form. So we've got the form list, we've got authentication form. So just wondering if we should do it on the authentication step or if we should do it on the token step. I honestly don't know. I'm going to probably lean on doing it on the token step because it'll be the last sort of step. Then again, the token won't be done if there's no two-factor authentication. It won't be actually showing. Okay. I'm going to say no. I'm going to say authentication step. So we're going to extend the authentication form. That shouldn't be too hard. Oh, sorry. Oh. Okay. So what I need to do is have that, then once all the data is done, it will pass through to the final done stage. It goes through all of that. How am I going to test it? I'm going to need to go to Google Console. All right, bear with me whilst I sort of go through the console sort of stuff. So yeah, I'm just going onto the Google. I'm just opening up the Google Console. I'm having a look at my APIs. All right. Create new project. I'm going to call this NearBeach. Oh, and we're on ads at the moment, so yep. So I'm creating a new project. Alright. that one's an old one, isn't it? Oh. And the Bob I know, how are you? Okay. API services. Sorry, I'm just creating a credential for something. All right, I need reCAPTCHA. I don't have it. Alright, there's going to be a lot of pricing and stuff like that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to ignore that for the moment. And we are going to move on to the next sort of thing. And I'm going to have to leave that to-do in there for the moment. I need to do a little bit more research just because pricing screen popped up and I'm like, well, damn. Also, I'm going to need to, I just realized that I've got an API against my name and I'm just like, oh, I've got to figure out if that's connected to a real site that I no longer manage. So, yes. And Taku, how are you going? Hopefully you're going well. Sorry, I was just paying attention to the main screen just then. And the Bob I know, yes, happy Friday. So yeah, we'll not do the reCAPTCHA just yet. Yeah, there's got to be investigate. So, hey, if I can set it up so it'll be all free and I've got the same sort of reCAPTCHA that everyone else uses and stuff like that, that'll be great. Yeah, it's just like a price model just popped up and I'm like, I better not. Not on this Friday. I am tired. So, yeah. I will, however, put that as something to do. It will be a bug. And yeah, happy Friday. I know, it is awesome. I am going to reCAPTCHA. Does not work. So currently we have removed the reCAPTCHA. We'll need to place this back into the login screen and test with real reCAPTCHA. Okay. And this is a critical. This is a bug. This is submitted, assigned to me. This is part of the login. And this will be fixed in the latest version. This is actually a showstopper. No, actually, no, it's not a showstopper because you can bypass it. And XTWOC, hi, welcome. Hopefully you're going well. Alright, cool. So I've just created that, and I do like how they've got their... This is so much better now. Alright, cool. So, the idea being is I'll override this, put in our sort of fill it up our data, do all the tests, Yeah. Yeah, I just got to figure it out. That's all. So, going in here, we are going to close this. We're going to close this. We're going to close this. We now need to add in the profile information for the two-factor URLs and all that kind of stuff. So if we go over here, and what I want to do is I want to go Python 3 manage run server 127001 and then 8080. So we're not logged in. We have a password. Oh, sorry, a token. But, oh, we don't have any of the account stuff in there yet. So, yeah. What I want to do, let's just close all of that and realize that I've got my to-do list in there. So I've now got to reopen that page. So not a problem. We'll just open up NearBeach. We'll open up our views. We'll open up our authentication. We'll open up this. So, add in the profile information, two-factor URLs, and fix the templates. And that's what we've got to do. So in here, we've got the URLs, like so. And I've included the TF URLs in this for the moment. We will be getting rid of them. We will actually be putting in our own URLs in here. And I think when we move to 0.32, we'll be cleaning up this URL file and we'll probably split it out into its own little mini files and stuff like that. It just makes sense doing it that way. Okay, so on NearBeach, I've logged in. We've got all of these URLs. We want to hijack these. So Django two-factor auth custom URLs. So this one, yeah, just fixed all that. Yep, that's perfectly fine. Configuration. This is a different, that's different. Implementing. Sorry, they had a different thing, but no, that's fine. Limiting certain views. For increased security, views can be limited to the two-factor enabled users. This allows you to secure certain parts of the website. Doing so requires a decorator, class, mix-in, or custom in. All right, no, that's. Alright, we don't need to do any of that. We'll probably implement the signals at a later date. Because yeah, we want emails to be sent to users when they actually do something. So for example, if they change their, or implement their if they implement two-factor or they disable two-factor, we kind of want to notify the user being like, hey, this has happened, by the way. So yeah. I don't. That's decorators, models. View. So we've got the login view. I might need to handle this. Okay. Setup view. So the view for handling the one-time password setup using a wizard. The first step of this wizard shows an introduction text explaining how OTP works and why it should be enabled. All that kind of stuff. So I think I just need to extend, very much similar to how we've extended the login page. I think we're just going to do the same thing. We're just got to extend this and then hope for the best. Yeah. Okay, depending on the method selected, all right. And then we got set up complete views, the configure the user when setup is complete. Yeah, I think I'm just overriding these particular views. Now, I think this is the old version. I am going to go Django two-factor. We're just going to search for it. We're going to click on this one. Yeah, that was an old documentation. There we go. There it is. So, class reference, admin, site, alert, views. So once again, we overridden this particular view, which we're happy with. If we go into here, we've got the login view. What we can do is we can have two-factor setup view.py. I am going to put this over here. What we're going to do is delete those, put those over there. Just so it's in the right file. So from two-factor.views import, and this will be the setup one, right? Oh. But where is setup view? So over here, I've got two-factor.views, import login view. Setup view. I just need capital S. All right, I'm going crazy. Sorry, Socks. There's a curtain in the way. And by the way, for those that don't know, Socks is back and complaining as ever. Gimme. Say hi to everyone. She's saying, I'm going to knock off so many things off your desk now. She's like, oh, be careful, sweetie. There's a keyboard there. Don't trip over it. All right, so what we want to do is class two-factor setup view, and then we want to extend the setup view. We want the init with the quags, and then all we need to do is just go super.init quags. I think that's the bare minimum I need to do. Yeah. Okay. So I need to go to my URLs. I'm just scrolling up. And hey, Nocturnal, how are you? I I just need to re-implement the reCAPTCHA for the login screen, but otherwise pretty happy with that. We're just now doing the setup, so getting that process done. Also, I don't know if Pip has ruined the surprise. She's walking all over the spot. Socks is back. Tired? Yeah, I'm also tired. I actually had a nap before stream, so I essentially worked all the way to 4:30, and I was like, I'm gonna have my lunch break now. And oh, thank you, Socks. A month without this. So I worked all the way to, hello, can I change screens? No. All right. I worked all the way to 4:30, had a nap, just fell asleep on the couch. I'm exhausted too, so it's a struggle today. Is she all over you? Yeah, she's kind of is. She's met Patty. She's had a couple of hisses and stuff like that. But the good news is today, they both stayed in their respective spots. So I'm kind of like, all right, they'll probably stay in their respective spots, and then hopefully the next stage is Socks will just ignore him. He didn't hiss back at her today when she hissed at him. And I'm hoping after that she'll just be like, all right, cool, whatever. I'll do what I want. Yeah. Oh, she's sitting on everything. All right, stop. Calm down. So what I want to do is I want to point not the account login. I want to pack the two-factor setup, two-factor QR code, two-factor setup complete. Now that one's going to be pointed at not this one, but this one. The backup tokens have got to be pointed at this one. Actually, I think that's it. Anyone who has a project, mostly just anyone really. At the moment, it's more towards the smaller sort of creators and stuff like that. So yeah. How do you call Python stuff inside TypeScript? All right, so there's a couple of methods. I'm going to assume that you're running a something like Django or Flask or something like that. So one way you can do it is you can set up in your Django to accept post on a particular URL. So let's actually duplicate this. Let's actually go onto a particular task. So on the left, we're going into our network tab. Down here, I'm gonna let's say I'm gonna add QA team to this particular task. What I can do is I can send a request via like just a GET request or a POST request, and yeah, it will send back data. So I'm just hitting an endpoint on my Django. It goes through the bunch of things and then it just sends back JSON. The other method is you can implement an API. So we also use the Django REST framework. We are slowly going to be moving from how we're doing it right here into the API, but the API is still being built. So that's why it's still on this. So yeah. You use Excel. All right, so the clause, I'm gonna say possible. So Excel actually has a function where you can call data from a database. I don't know if you can then call stuff from an Excel. So let's just draw this out. So this is your user. This is your web server. So let's say your web server is running Django or Flask or something like that. And let's say, I'm just going to say S3 for the file. All right. Let's say you've got your file stored somewhere that this server can get. This particular user will make a request to a particular endpoint. That endpoint can go fetch this and then send it back to the user. So we currently do that already. But if you want to crunch data within it, what would actually happen is it'll open up the Excel document, crunch the data, and then send that. But that's not really efficient. If you're going to do that, my recommendation is get that data into a database where it is better at doing that than an Excel spreadsheet. If you can do it locally, interested to hear more. Use a single file and it has 2 columns, task and status. All right. And yeah, Excel has Python now. So yeah, I'm assuming that's what you mean. So for example, you might have an Excel document that you put up online. Yeah, that's plausible. I will definitely say don't use Excel as a database. No. Use a database for a database. So yeah. And I'm assuming I've understood your question. How do you call Python stuff inside TypeScript? So yeah. All right, going back to this, let's start breaking this down. So let's say we've got path. What is the user path? Give me a couple of seconds. I'm gonna have to do this at the end. So we've got profile information. So I want to go path. I want to go profile information, and then I want to go. I'll have to import it. I want to test it 2 ways first. I want to test to see if I can do the setup view. So this is 470 from 2factor.views import setup view. So for that will be setup view as view. It's not wanting to do it. Oh no, maybe. 2-factor setup view. All right. Now I don't know if that will work. Yeah. Well, I mean, to be honest, like I've seen a few stuff of people using Python SDKs, AI stuff, and I want to use them, but I just make them in TypeScript by changing them around to use endpoints and Axios. So fair enough, we use Axios. Sometimes use Trello and Kanban. So yep, we also got Kanban in NearBeach. Just set up a small API, or if you're using JavaScript locally, like Django node, and then just run from shell. Yep, and then collect the results. Yep. All right. So if I go profile information, oh, it's not loading. All right. End with a dict, but got a string. Oh yeah. Sorry, I forgot to actually do this properly. Yeah, we want 2-factor in there like that. I don't think this will work. Yeah, I don't think that will work. Not a problem. what we're going to do is I'm going to go from, actually we'll do it down here because we've actually got it down here, authentication views. We are then going to do wrong thing. From .views.authentication .2-factor setup, import the 2-factor setup views. We want to go to 471 again. We just want to go down here. We then want to go 2-factor setup view dot as view. Stop and rerun. I keep forgetting if that needs to be a function. I think it needs to be. And no, it doesn't like it. All right. Hang on. Tell you what, we've got the source code somewhere. So we want Django, Django 2-factor auth, GitHub. At this particular moment, I should just have this like this. All right, so we're after URLs. I do believe we want that. The core. Okay. I'm just gonna copy this. I'm just gonna like that. Now, I know it's going to clash. So that's why I am going to take out this. Now, this is the 2-factor URLs, import URLs. All right, yep. And then we're just going to refresh. And that worked perfectly fine. And that might be just it. So if I hit refresh on this particular one, we should see the object account 2-factor setup being here. So we're just going to replace all of those URLs with the 2-factor stuff. That's going to be fairly easy to do. Once again, we're going to do this in alphabetical order of the URL. So I thought I would do some organization today with my cloud storage accounts. I am starting to wish I did not choose to do so. I have found a chaotic mess. Yes, I understand. I fully understand. Yeah. I'm lucky. I kind of store all my photos in year, month, day sort of folders, a folder structure and stuff like that, which I love doing. Yeah. Okay, doing all that. I'm going to move Socks' tail out of the way. But yeah, some files. Yeah, sometimes I get the folder structure just absolutely terrible. So 471, we're going to go down here. We're going to go profile information. And we've got that. I'll be happy with that. Profile information, 2-factor setup. Oh, and we've just reached our ad again. All right, cool. Hopefully everyone's going well. And hopefully Socks is back. So hopefully everyone's happy. She's back. She's causing trouble, of course. You know, jumping on the keyboard, causing issues. For those on YouTube, we are running ads on Twitch. We tend to do this whenever we run ads on Twitch. Don't worry, you don't get ads. Yeah. Okay, we're doing all of this. Okay. Almost done. There we go, done. And we have socks. Boop. She's there going, yeah. This is why people visit, to visit me, not you. You see, it's a nice 5-year timeline. If I filter by the newest stuff, it's more organized. Yes. As you get older, you organize better. By the way, I'm gonna have a new install of NearBeach soon. My friend has opened a gym, and I think the daily maintenance task is a good case for scheduled tasks. Oh, nice. All right, cool. It'd be great to get some feedback from them. I'm also going to set up fresh instance of NearBeach at some point so I can play with the API as it's a semi-safe way. Yes. So the API will be back on pretty much, I think, next week if we get all this two-factor stuff done. So yeah. All right, welcome back, everyone. Sorry, I should just jump back onto the workstation. All right, let's go back over here. Let's test out this. So I'm just hitting refresh on this, and we should have profile information. And then we've got our two-factor setup. So I need to actually just move that down in the URLs because I like everything being alphabetical. We all know I suck at finding things. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, there we go. That's just a minor thing. And then if we go over here, profile information, and we hit enter, and then we should go to factor and then setup. Alright, so if we want the user to come here, you're about to set up for account. Alright, cool. And then we go, this is dark admin, so I'm just going to go next. I haven't tested the token generation yet. And I kind of want to, but at the same time, I don't want to do one on stream because I got a bunch of tokens and I don't want to accidentally dox them. So I'm just going to go email. That should send an email. Ooh, all right, not a problem. I just need the other URLs very quickly. That should not take long to actually implement. So what we want to do is we want to go into here. So we don't want account login. We wanted two-factor setup. We kind of wanted these ones too. Yeah, and then okay. What I'm going to do, so I'm just going to paste them there. These will be easy to import. Does 2FA support passkeys, UV keys? So I do want to support them. I just got to buy one. So yeah, not at the very moment, but later down the track we definitely will. Just gonna move Socks's tail. All right, so instead of account, we want profile information. That's spelt wrong. All right, and that's all two-factor. That's all perfectly fine. Looks like it supports YubiKeys from the repo. Yes, yeah. It does. It's in the documentation and stuff like that, but I don't want to officially say I support it until I get one and I can test it. Yeah. By the way, you can use Chrome or Apple Password to test passkeys. Nice knowing that there'll be a UBI key support at some point. Yeah, and hopefully soon. I've just got to talk to. I know one of my friends has one, and I don't know if he has an old one he can get rid of. So if that helps, that will help. Otherwise, I think it's a couple of $100 though, Australian. So yeah, I will have to source it. All right. So going back to this. Okay, so we're going to go email. There we go. Two-factor is not a registered namespace. So I just got a really itchy point on my back. All right, why? Okay, hang on. I'm still interested in anyone that I'm working on right now. I've just imported the two-factor packager views into the root URLs and specified the login where the name equals all of that. Looks like there's a lib for passing keys. Yes, yeah. So I did read the documentation. We do need to include that library. Very same like with the phone numbers, but we're not doing phone numbers. So yeah, damn currency conversion be a bad one. I was thinking of getting at some point, costs around 50 quid. Yeah, it's about 100 and something. So it's worse in Australia for some strange reason. Sorry, I usually type AMA to get to Amazon. We did this very quickly the other day, and yeah, it's 120 for this one, 141 for this one. And yeah, so I'll talk to my friend. I don't even know what that one is. Alright. Yes, SMS 2FA is bad, hence we're not using it. So yeah, there's just a lot of flaws within the whole system itself. So yeah, getting an email or using your authenticator on your phone should be easy enough for most people. So yeah, and once again, this is opt-in, so it isn't forced upon people. However, it might be one of those things that administrators sort of talk to users, and we can set up tools to tell administrators, hey, these particular users don't have it, you might want to contact them. So yeah. What the hell is this? I don't even know what it is. It's too expensive. I don't care. All right. They got path, login, as view. Yeah. Oh. Sorry. Let's go back to the error. Let's go to the source code. So URL patterns. We are adding in namespace. All right, hang on. Okay, cool. Typically they use in each application URLs into their own namespace. This prevents the reverse Django function URL template function from returning the wrong URL because the URL pattern happened to be matched by another API, another app, sorry. What I have is project level URLs in the file. So URLs, admin, and auto. All right, cool. Note that this section goes to the application called setting to local apps, installed apps. All right, cool. Another thing I could potentially do is implement what they've got, this very easily, and then import it in to my URLs. Once again, this is getting the URLs pretty messy, but we kind of want to clean up the URLs in 032. So what will actually happen is we'll go through and we'll be deleting a lot of the URLs that are no longer relevant, and we'll be breaking them apart. Yeah. And the best thing is the unit test will work for that, testing that. And I'll be like, yeah. So that will be the fallback because we do actually have the namespace sort of stuff down here. URL patterns. And then namespace. All right, cool. So if I go back here, profile information we're fine with. Get profile picture we're fine with. This one. Okay. I'm going to do this. Whoops. And what we're going to do, so we're going to create a new file. It's called URLs to factor.py. I know it's all in one folder and all that kind of stuff. Once again, we'll actually reorganize this at 032. Yeah, we'll be doing a lot in 032. So... Okay, straight off the bat, we're doing that. We're going to go scroll all the way up. We're going to do something like this in a second. In fact, we can do that right now. So tf_URLs. So actually that will belong down here. From .urls two-factor import. How did we have it? It was URL patterns as, so two-factor URLs. Okay, and then down here, we'll send one. Actually, we'll do it like that. And then we'll get rid of this particular one for the moment. That one's fine. Get rid of that. Get rid of that. So that should be including everything. So if I go back over here and I hit refresh, we should see the account stuff up here. Perfect. All right. I'm just going to do one tiny thing. I'm going to do that. I'm going to hit refresh. Then we're going to go profile information down here. Okay, that didn't work how I wanted it to. I'm just going to do that. And yeah, we've got the account information there. So, all right, that's a bit annoying that I can't say profile information unless it's something like no. It looks like I'm going to have to keep it like this. That's perfectly fine. In that sort of case, what we want to do is we want to keep it up at the top. Like so. Annoying, but understandable. And then all I need to do is change those to profile information. Now, the account login is no longer needed, so I can jump into here. I can get rid of... I'm going to comment it out because one thing I could potentially do... Actually, no, we don't need it at all. Because we're overriding it and all that kind of stuff. So this will be profile information. Profile information. Oh, be careful, socks. And profile information. Okay, so we won't actually have a URL called account. That, I mean, we can go back and actually implement that and so forth like that. But yeah, no, we're sticking with profile information. All right. Okay. Now, if I do refresh, we've got profile information, two-factor setup, QR code, setup complete, backup tokens, two-factor, and two-factor disable. So I believe we've got everything we need in this sort of case. So what I'm going to do is we're just going to go to two-factor. So here it is. So primary send methods. All right, cool. Disable two-factor. We might need to... That should be project information, two-factor disable, which we're doing. Okay. Let's have a look at what they've done. So if we go into here and we go into... we haven't set up two-factor on this one. All right, give me 2 seconds. I'm going to set that up very, very quickly. So the URLs from two-factor dot URLs import URL patterns as two-factor URLs. And down here, what we need to do is we're just going to go path nothing. TF URLs dot. Oh, we just do that. I expected 3, got 2. Hang on. Oh, include. Oops. That's my bad. The include should be part of that. Oh, I need to, oh, no. Next to code 1, yep, that's fine. Need to redo that sometimes. All right, so we're down here, disable two-factor authentication. It just goes back to here. All right, cool. So the disabled two-factor authentication just doesn't work, which is annoying. Not a problem, but these views should now be over here. So if I go into here, we can see that these views have been set up like that. We just need to find out what the template is and actually sort of go with it. So one thing I wanted to do is I want to quickly solve this cube because we don't want it looking like this. I mean, it looks okay. I mean, sure. But however, this looks like a login page, and we don't want that. We want the NearBeach sort of stuff in here. So I don't know why disable two-factor is not working. Primary methods and email to. Yep. All right. Cool. If I duplicate this tab and I go to admin. Oh crap. So I'm just seeing if I go through this and so forth like that. Oh, we got it here. 7 default, human reader full name of this device, default confirmed, yep. I'm just going to delete this. Yes. We're going to go over here. We're going to refactor. All right, cool. So we refresh and then enable to. All right, cool. So first things first. I don't know why the disable's not working. That might be a bug. And it's something, there are legit cases where you do need to set this up, where you disable the authentication. So you might be having an email change. And it's just easier to put in the new email or something like that. Or new systems are being used and you kind of want to do that. Yeah, there's a multitude of reasons why. All right, cool. I am straight at the bat. I'm going to close all these tabs. I am going to minimize all this. We're going to edit the document itself. So we're going to go into NearBeach templates. We're going to open up the two-factor. We're going to open up the base focus, and I'm going to write in up here as header 1, hello world. And we've just reached ads. All right, cool. Ad time. Yeah, slowly getting through this. Slowly. It'll be nice once we're done and dusted with this. Alright, cool. We're going to do that. We're going to do that. We're going to do that. That. I've got to do that. All right, so where did we just knocked the cube off my desk. That was all my fault. All right, there it is. How we are with ads, 30 seconds. All right, cool. I'm just gonna hit reload. I'm actually really curious if that hello world comes through. No, it doesn't. Sweet. So it might be one of those sort of cases where I can use a NearBeach template for it, which would be nicer instead of, yeah. All right, I'm just plotting at the moment. And welcome back, everyone. All right, back to this. Getting closer to the point where I can make mobile apps from NearBeach. Yes, yeah. So the API should bypass the 2FA. That's also one thing which we've got to test. And then, yeah, later on we've got to test how the OAuth will work. I've just got to do a lot of research. That's all. It's a lot. There's a lot of missing information with the OAuth. So yeah, I don't think the OAuth will happen this round in 0.31. But yeah, I don't think 0.32 is going to be big in the sense of it's not like 0.31 where I've been working on it for a year and a bit now. A year and I think 3 months now. I think it will be a 6-month, touchwood, less than 6 months ordeal, because we're just focusing on fixes to the database, code coverage increases, UI UX fixes, move the current front end to the API, and types. So a lot of that we could move to 0.33 because they're kind of new feature. Yeah. All right, going back with this. So the hello world didn't appear there. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go back into. I'm going to close that tab. I'm going to close that tab. I'm going to close that tab. I'm going to regret closing that tab. I'm going to open up that tab and go back. And then what I want to do is I want to open up the views. Realize I'm going crazy. Open up the templates, 2-factor. So we've got the wizard forms. We've got the wizard actions. So the base, which is different. So the wizard actions don't extend anything. So this is a base. The base focus puts it on there. We've got the core. Here we go. Yeah, it extends. So the setup extends the base focus. So we might want to change the login to extend something else. And then the base focus extends the base. All right, cool. Looks like I'll be doing a little bit of reshuffling with the code. Not a problem. So what we want to do is at the moment we want to create a new directory called core. Oh, we have it. Sorry, I'm going crazy. So we got the login, and this extends the base focus, and then it extends this. So I'm going to go and rename this. It's going to be easier to do it in the terminal. Actually, tell you what, it's going to be easier just to copy, paste as login base. I'm going to add that in. So the login will be part of the login base. And then what I can do is I can delete anyway. All right, I can remove that. I can remove that. We've got the login base. We've got the wizard actions. Cool, which we want to keep. Got the wizard form. So if we go back into where's that NearBeach stuff? If we go back into here, we hit refresh. We've got the account security and all that kind of stuff. All right. Sweet. So, provide a template name, two-factor base.html to style this page and remove it. Yep, that's what we need to do. But we can do one better. So, going with this, we then go into base focus, because everything falls on base focus. I think. All right. So I'm just going to do this. Oh. And what we're going to do is we're actually going to extend NearBeach. So we're going to extend NearBeach. Oh, that should be capitals. NearBeach. And then it will be one of the templates. I think just master. All right, we go over here. That's the wrong one. Account security. Wants us to do that. All right, so that didn't quite work. Ooh, all right. We're getting close. We've got the curtain that we haven't dealt with. Let's go into console. Oh, all right. So we're going to actually implement something without a curtain. So we're going to have a master node app. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go up into the templates. We're going to copy this. We're going to paste it into here. And we're going to go master no app. We're going to add it in. Because then we extend the template. Okay, and then we have the footer, but we do something with public also. All right, partials, footer, include partial simple loader, HTML. Okay, I'm gonna. All right, it failed that. I think I just got to do that. The template. That will be part of the templates. So partials, we've got template, div ID app. Yeah, that should be there. Okay, we got the main container that we don't have. But even then, that's the basic app. All right, if I inspect this, let's just delete node. Nothing's in here anyway. Which is not what we want. So I'm gonna have a look at the base. Because it's all about the base, We need this. I'm gonna get rid of that. There's a reason why I'm getting rid of that. I hit refresh. Failed to mount app. Yep, alright, cool. Oh, we should get rid of gonna get rid of that for a moment. Hang on, am I doing something silly? I'm probably doing something silly. Let's go to base. I'm doing something silly. We want that. Alright, and then if we hit refresh, we still get this. That is fine, but if we comment out that, we get gunk. But if we do that, we get that. And then if we do that, and then we delete that. Yeah, all right. This might be... We need the partials, we've got the footer. Yeah, we kind of want the footer still. Okay. Div ID equals at. This is going to be empty. Hit refresh. There we go. And what we want to do is... Okay, so we've got the simple loader. We've got the app. That's the bare minimum for this page to work. So no matter what, NearBeach is going to look at it, be like, all right, cool, can't do anything. I'm going to actually refactor this and not call it no app. I'm going to call it two-factor. Because it's special enough. In the base, this should then be master two-factor. Easy done. So it grabs all of this. In fact, we're overly complicating this. Doing that. That will be better. And that way, we've got all the two-factor in one place. All right, so we've got the head, we've got the body, we've got the app. I'm going to clean this up a little bit so it makes a little bit more sense. So, okay, we have all of that. Then we've got the account security stuff. So that will be in here. That will be just this stuff here. I am just going to do this. We're just going to bump this up. And then we just need to do that. So I go into here now and I hit refresh. We've got that. Now, I do want to overtake this eventually and put this in the card and do a proper sort of NearBeach view sort of stuff. I feel it can be done because we've got access to all the view templates and stuff like that. We just need to modify them and make sure it all connects together. So yeah, now if I go back to the login base, that's all good. And then we've got the login, which extends the login base, which is good. So we've got the login base. The wizard actions I'll actually put somewhere else in their own folder. The base itself, that extends. It's pretty much the same as the NearBeach template, which is going to be great. And then what we need to do is, yes, that's in a container, but if we go to any other page of NearBeach and we inspect the page, we've got body, we've got main class container. All right, cool. So straight off the bat, main class container, we're deleting this, we're going to put this in here. So we're going to be like in here, hang on, unused app, keep on page, otherwise JavaScript will fail. Because yeah, everything's connected in this sort of case. So what I mean by that is, instead of building a separate sort of CSS and stuff like that for this particular case, we're using the same one. Now that might be a solution, but it's going to increase the build process quite a bit, and you're duplicating all of the CSS and stuff. It's just not worth it. So in this sort of case, what we do, the easy fix is to be like, oh, cool, we just add in a empty div app, and it searches for that. It goes, all right, cool, nothing to do, and it moves on with its day. Yeah, and then we've got the basic sort of stuff here with the content blocks. So if we go back into here, we hit refresh, we've got all of this now. We can now see that this takes up the full page, and we can scroll up and down. So yeah, that is good. All right, and then let's go through testing this. So if I enable two-factor authentication, we hit this page. Yeah. Once again, it's failing that. That's not too much of a problem. We just got to find out what it's hitting. Because yeah, this should be the base. And this is using div class container again, which is not what we want. So yeah, it's definitely using the default stuff. All right, so under core, let's go to the code. The code. So we have a bunch of these. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to go over here. I am going to copy backup tokens, all of this. We won't do the phone register, definitely not needing it. And I'm just going to paste those into there. We're going to add them in. So the backup one is using the two-factor base. So that's adding in the container and all that kind of stuff. We don't want that. We just want the base. So we're happy with that being the base. I'm just going to close all tabs. Login, we're done. One-time password, yep, we need that just to be base. Setup, we just need that to be base. Setup complete, that just needs to be base. And then if I go back over here and I hit refresh, there we go. Okay, cool. So we're no longer using that other one. Yep, we're using that. Yep, all right, cool. So we've got base, login base. Yep. Okay, enable to, you're about to take your account security to the next level and stuff like that. All right, cool. Once again, we'll put these in cards. That way also dark mode will work on this page. So yeah, there's a lot of bugs and issues that we got to do to get this out the door. So we want to go next. Enable two-factor, we're just going to go email. Oh. Just scroll down. All right, should have sent an email. All right, congratulations, back to account security. So yeah, you got backup tokens and all that kind of stuff here now. The disabled two-factor just doesn't work. Sorry, I just need to stand up. I'm getting a bit restless sitting down. So, what we need to do is make this look nice. As you see, this little works pretty well. Everything just does its thing. Those buttons look almost NearBeachian. Yeah, we'll fix up everything. Now the one problem is, now I just realized this, dark mode's not being ported down. Isn't that right, Socks? You look angry. You're like, sure. There's nothing there. Yes, I'm using Django. I'm working on NearBeach. So we're currently implementing two-factor authentication into NearBeach. Yeah, we're jumping over hurdles. We're getting there. So, yeah, it's just a little bit of work to do. So, we need to implement dark mode. We need to implement the cards and stuff like that, because one thing you don't want is being in dark mode and then all of a sudden, boom, light mode out of nowhere. By default, the top bar is going to be dark mode no matter what. We purposely kept it like that. However, if we actually look at any other sort of views and stuff like that, so if we go into, let's say, the Kanban board and let's say the Kanban information, we pass through, actually it might be on master. We pass through the theme. And I don't think we currently do that. Yeah, we won't be doing that at all with sorry, my brain's just I'm tired. We won't be doing that with a two-factor unless we overtake the yeah, unless we extend the classes and be like, all right, cool, you need to actually include this and this and this, which we can do. We've done that with the login view. Yeah, so let's have a look at the code. So at the moment, I'm like, all right, cool, we're getting this sort of sorted. We just need to go in and edit these particular forms. That's not going to be hard, putting them into the card format. That's going to be easy. Well, I finally hit my old school stuff. Apart from me, wish I didn't drag and drop everything into a folder when I left. Yep. Oh yeah. But we learn. We learn. Yeah. Organization. It is a wonderful tool. So if we go to core, I'm just going to core. I'm just having a quick look at, let's say, the login view and stuff like that. So when we render stuff, so get process step. Yep, process step. All right, cool. Render. If we go through return super render form quarks. Oh, that's render forms. Where would the template stuff be, or the context stuff? Because yeah, that's what I'm interested in. Okay, context. Get context data. Ooh. We might be able to extend this. So with the get context data, we've got the forms and stuff like that. So add user's default backup one-time password. So what we'll do is we'll do the super. We don't need to worry about that, but that's how we would do it. Context, and then something like that. Let's test it. So I'm going to close this. We're going to close everything. I'm going to open up just the stuff I need. So I'm minimizing everything. Let's focus on this. We're going to open up NearBeach. We're going to open up our templates. We're going to open up our two-factor, and we're going to open up our base. So here's our theme. We are going to open up our views. We're going to open up our authentication. We're going to open up our two-factor setup view. So this is the setup view. We're then going to open up we're going to open up our URLs. Our two-factor URLs. So let's deal with the setup view first. We're just at an ad break. All right, cool. I was getting excited. Alright, so what I want to do is I want to extend the class and I want to put in the theme in there. That's pretty easy for us to do because at this particular point the user is logged in. So we just pass through, we've got a function for this. We'll just call the function and be like, yo, what theme is this? And then, yeah, that should all work. Yeah. Hopefully in the near future we can extend the themes and all that kind of stuff. So yeah, we'll get to that at a later date. Okay, so Sorry, I'm just doing this very, very quickly. The queue, we all know I like to fidget. For those on YouTube, we run ads every half an hour on Twitch. Yeah, just because so people don't get pre-rolled, you don't need to worry because you're on YouTube, you don't get ads. And there's a bug where I can't code like that. And welcome back, everyone. All right, cool. And when I say everything, I mean everything people have said. Oh my God. All right. Only 62 gigs worth of stuff to go. Oh, ouch. All right, cool. I'm just wondering how much, I don't have my NAS turned on at the moment. So it's a 6 terabyte NAS, and I think I'm using just over 3 terabytes. So yeah, to put it into perspective, I can't lift that right now with that arm. I've got a 62 gig card in here, and I have filled it up multiple times. Each photo is 25 megabytes. So yeah, the vast majority of stuff is photos on there. All right, so what we want to do, let's focus on the setup views. So I am going to go over here. We've got this. I'm going to get this working first, and then we're going to modify this. So this will be from views authentication two-factor setup views import two-factor setup view, and down here we are going to put in two-factor as view like so, and that should still work with the setup views in here. So if we go into here, I'm going to have to delete the dark admin again. And there we go. Account security, enable two-factor. All right, I'm going to go... Ooh, there's a couple of bugs in this. Don't know why that's disabled. Alright, I'm going to have to, definitely go through this and fix it all up. Might be a case that they're essentially using one view for one sort of partial for a lot of things, whereas I might be like, I might separate them out. To put it in respect, most content in my iCloud drive is Word documents. Wow, that is a lot of Word documents, 62 gigabytes. I want to get an NAS at some point. I will probably get myself one when I leave my parents' house. Oh, fair enough. And thank you very much, Zviatic. Thank you very much for the follow. Welcome, welcome. I do hope you are enjoying my content. So, my NAS is my old computer. I don't know if people remember. I used to stream on another machine, and then it got really, really slow due to some Intel security issues and all that kind of fun stuff. Anyway, it got to the point where just under 2 years ago, I upgraded to this current machine, and it stood down there for ages. I ended up turning that old machine into a NAS, and I use Unraid. So yeah, I use Unraid for all the stuff. I did pay for this though, so you do need to buy this. And I had a friend who sort of went through all my needs and stuff like that, and he's like, all right, cool, this is probably going to be the best solution for you. And I ended up buying the lifetime license. Yeah, I ran Ubuntu on it, and then when it got really, really slow, like I would be typing, and then we'll all wait for the text to, go out and stuff like that. So yeah, it currently has a couple of old flat solid state drives in it caching. It's got 4 drives in it, but I'm only using 3 drives at the moment for storage and stuff like that. And I will be upgrading the drives soon. So yeah, I am looking at refurbished hard drives. So I'm looking at something. Yeah, I'm just looking at some hard drives and stuff like that. So yeah, I might get 412s. That gives me 36 terabytes, which is a lot of stuff. But I also wanted to start doing a lot of video stuff too. So when I'm finished with doing all the video stuff, I can archive it on the NAS. So yeah. But at the moment, it hosts all my pictures. Yeah. All right, getting back into this. It looks like it's working. What I want to do now, I am dark user. Oh, none of that's working. Component is missing template or render function. Oh. Alright, I'm gonna have to actually create a... Oh, I don't want to create a footer once again, creating all that kind of stuff. I can create an empty... I'm overcomplicating this now. It might be one of those sort of cases where I just import the stuff. Oh, it's gonna add in so much time for the compilation, for the compiling and all that kind of stuff. All right, not a problem. Let's get the layout done today. This is a task for another day. What we want to do, we've got this. Let's have a look at this. So we've got get context data. Like so, and then what we need to do is we're just going to do this one line. All right, and then we need to from NearBeach dot. It's not part of the decorators. It's part of the views. No, it's not part of the views. Let's get theme. So context get theme equals get theme dot request. So that will actually be get theme dot self dot request. And in here, oh, get back. Views, themes, get views. Yeah. All right, cool. Something like that. Now I'm going to put a little breakpoint here to see if this actually works. I was thinking of getting something like this. I am just going to open that up. I am just going to paste and go. Oh, fair enough. I haven't used one of these before, mainly because I've only ever had one NAS. But yeah, no, that looks good. So you got 8 gigs of DD4, you've got 4 inbuilt, 1 gig, yep, all right, cool. Scalability up to 15 drive bays, all right. Not that you need 15. I reckon having 4 is good enough for redundancies and stuff like that. Simply faster, flexible, yep. Reduce transfer times with GS 1522 design accelerated workloads. Easy to, yep, alright, cool. Yeah. Alright, small and compact. 80 terabytes, that's a lot. All right, that is a lot of data. But yeah, I think one of these with 4, that should be fine. So yeah. Alright, so we're doing that. Down here, I want to see if this actually works. So I'm going to hit refresh. Realize that we've broken something. Yep, up here. We just need to do that. Just minimizing that. I'm just going to go back here. I'm going to hit refresh a couple of times. Realize something else isn't working. I'm just going to do that because it'll tell me what's not working. So we've hit this. We've got all the context so far. I'm just going to hit play. Now, if I go on here, yeah, all right, cool. It's not. Passing that through. So what I want to do is I want to do a equals get theme self dot request. And legendary Cerberus, yeah, 2FA. So we've currently got it almost set up. The almost being a very big, large caveat being like we haven't implemented this. And at the moment, we're just trying to get the templates to work and look like a NearBeach sort of template instead of something different, which isn't hard to do. It's just fiddly. So yeah, I'm getting the dark mode working first. So yeah, I'm just going to put that there. I'm just going to hit refresh. We've hit this. I'm just going to step over. So the context itself, we don't actually have the context in there. We don't have theme. All right, I've made a mistake. So let's have a look at the source code. So we've got context equals super, get context data forms, args and quargs. So that's our first line up here. Return context. All right, yep, no, that's our silly mistake. We won't need that anymore. If we go into here, we hit reload, boom. Dark mode, added, that simple. So we're going to need to do that with every other URL in there. So not too much of a problem because once again, we're just extending what we've got there. So we don't need to worry about them changing any code later in the future. We just need to test it. If it, test it. I've had accounts compromised that were supposedly protected by 2FA, big set. Yeah, that does suck. I mean, it's not the, yeah, there are some flaws in there. So, for example, I would not, actually, sorry. There are some flaws in there. For example, 2FA with phone numbers, there's a massive flaw because it's easy to sort of get those SMSs. I'm not sure how easy it is to break the 2FA for the authenticators and stuff like that, or YubiKeys. So, yeah. Don't know about them. Anyway, Sorry, I'm tired. My brain's all over the place. We've got a beat Nightbot, exclamation point dropped, followed by your favorite emoji. I am doing socks because she is back and she stood on her own emoji then. All right, there we go. Come here. No, you want cuddles. I know you want cuddles. Come here. There we go. And Socks is getting her cuddles. And there she goes. Ooh. All right, let's get this into the card format. So we're happy with that. What we want to do now is we want to go back up to the templates. We want to open up our core. We've got the enable two-factor authentication. I'm just going to cheat and search for it. So we've got this here. And we've got it in multiple places. Yeah, we'll do this particular one first. So extends two-factor base, block content, block content. Yep, all right, cool. So where's your other cat? Socks comes in pairs. Like that. So I do actually have another cat called Patty. Socks and Patty have just met. So yeah, they're Socks likes to hiss at the moment at Patty. I think Patty's sort of calmed down and is like, yeah, whatever. So yeah, he's realized that his spot on the couch is not being taken over. So he's happy about that. Alright, so I am just doing that very, very quickly. Alright. So this is the point where we want to sort of create, we are using that. So yeah, we're going to change that. Include two-factor wizard forms. Yeah, all right, we're going to simplify this up just because I prefer readable code. All right. Oh, sorry. Got it. So we've got the two-factor wizard forms, we've got the submit. All right, so that's perfectly fine down here. This is a bunch of sort of stuff. So we've got our title. If we've got our welcome, then it tells us our welcome. It's got our method. All right, cool. Yeah, I can do this. Just trying to remember where I used a full yeah, it'll be under the user lists or something like that. Okay, cool. Sorry, I'm just trying to find a card example that we've got done already. So this is a basic card. Actually, no, that's the card description. No, none of that would work. Reset user password. We actually don't need to have that div there. So yeah, it'll be a div card body, and then we do all of this stuff in here. All right, I'm gonna put this off to the side. Yeah, it's best sometimes to reference how you're gonna do stuff. So yeah, we've got the block content. We're gonna go div class equals card, and then we're gonna go div class equals card body. Easy done, we're happy with that. We're just gonna cut and paste things in there now. So straight off the bat, what we're gonna do, we're gonna do that. And then pretty much from 14 all the way down to here. I'm just going to do that. We're going to do that. We're going to format this correctly. Now, we should do this. Yeah, I like that. All right, so straight off the bat, we're going to go like this. We're going to do our HR like that. And then our next sort of step will be the div class equals row. And then we've got a div class equals col md4. And then depending what this is, depending what we put in there. So straight off the bat, we're just going to yank this. I'm going to paste it in. And then I'm just wondering how I want to sort of do this. So we've got a div like this, and then we kind of want to do a strong, and then we want to go to factor. Now, I think I can get rid of that 2-factor out of there. I think I can put it up there. So there's our header. And then essentially it'll be like that. However, we like to do things like this. So that's a lot nicer, that layout. Okay, cool. And then essentially what we could do the next set. Next is text instructions. Do it like that. All right, cool. The next one. Oh. Oh, what? We've got another ad break. Oh, God. Has the time been flying? All right. So we've got a QR code in this particular one. I don't feel the QR code should belong over here. I'm going to adjust this. So when the QR code actually happens, it's going to happen in the main body. So for those that, this is how we lay out stuff. So we've got some description over here, and then we've got an action over here. And in this sort of case, the description will be like this, and then the action will be over here. So okay. We're gonna have to remember that. All right, so what I'm going to do is I am going to start plugging this in. I'm going to plug it all in there just for the moment. So we need to go 30. All right, cool. So we need to delete these 10 lines. We need to go up. We're just going to paste them in. And then class equals text instructions. And then, yeah, we're just doing this nicely. I'm just going to comment out that one line for the moment. And then alternatively, that should also be part of the code. To start, usage alert, authenticator. All right, so I need to change a couple of these instructions. That's perfectly fine. We're going to leave this one for the moment, and we're going to come back to it. And then the SMS, we're not going to do SMS. Call, we're not going to do call. So we're doing the welcome, we're doing the method, we're doing the generator. And then we won't be doing call, we won't be doing SMS. YubiKey will be leaving in there. So 42 to, all right. All right, that will be, if not challenge succeeded. Oh, this will actually be not here. Alright, this won't be in here. Alright, cool. So we've got a welcome. Okay, and then the YubiKey, we'll just do, once again, class equals text instructions. We're banging that over there. We're banging that onto a new line, and we're happy with that so far. We do actually have an ad break coming up. And those should be all the end if. Sweet. All right, I'm going to undo that one. Once we get this in this somewhat format, we can sort of edit all this. It'll happen pretty quickly. We won't need any of that anymore. So we've got the div class row 4, and then we've got the div class col md 8 here now. So that should be just all the form data. That's 60 to 69. That should fit in there. And we've got ads. All right. Cool. I'll just go over to the ad screen. All right. Hopefully everyone's going well. We are slowly getting there. Yeah, this is just the process. It just takes time to get everything up and running. Yeah, there's a bunch of hurdles, you know, it's one of those things. I'm hoping to have this out in, well, I was hoping to have it finished today, but we know that's not going to happen. I'm hoping to have it finish mid next week. And then once that is done, yeah, we're back onto the API. So we've got a bunch of feedback for the API that we want to implement, and then, yeah, we will be doing yeah, once we do the API stuff, we will be moving on to our next task and stuff like that. So yeah, if you guys haven't read, we do have our what we want to achieve in this particular month on nearbeach.org/blogs. So yeah, and if you accidentally type in blob or blobs, like I constantly do, you will find a redirect hyperlink. Yeah. I absolutely forgot I did that page, and I had a chuckle at myself, and I was like, man, sometimes I do some silly stuff, and it's funny. Would you like me to open up the Docker PR as well? That goes with the current one. What do you mean? Sorry, I need the context. Oh, as in like the PR you pushed. I've got to work on that tomorrow. Which will most likely turn out to be Sunday. Yeah, sorry, I've just absolutely was swamped, and when I was going to look at it, I ended up not having my laptop, and yeah, it was a thing. All right, yeah, that would be awesome. Thank you. All right, let's have a look at what this will look like. So if we go back to setup, now we want these buttons to actually be a part of this down here, which will be fairly easy to do. Now, Rush, just wondering if you want me to wait for that to merge, open the other. I would just submit it, and it'll give me something to do on Sunday. So, you're about to take the next level, follow the steps in the wizard to enable two-factor authentication. So we go next, and then we got our method. Alright, cool. So when we got our method, you know, I'm not the biggest fan of how that looks. But we can use CSS to change all of this. Ain't a problem. I can throw this whole entire card with a new class and stuff like that. So yeah, I'm not worried about the look at the moment. So if we do token generate and we go next, yeah, all right, cool. So straight off the bat, what I want to do. No rush, just wondering if you want me to wait for the... Alright, cool. Should be buttons, I think. Yes, so... yeah, I've just got to put these buttons in a proper place. So usually when I have the buttons, if we have a look here, we've got something like this. And if we have a look at the card body, at the bottom we've got a class and then submit row. So we'll be doing the same thing here. In their code, what they've got, got the wizard forms, formers table, wizard actions. They've got like this. So if cancel URL, all right, yep. And if dot previous button. All right, so we'll probably implement the same thing. So I'm just going to copy that for the moment. We're going to go over here. We're going to get rid of that, and what we want is make sure it's not outside of this. It should be here, and it should be div class equals row, and then I've absolutely forgotten. Row, submit row. Keyboard stopped working. Oh, there we go. We're just going to paste it in. I'm going to do that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. we are definitely going to neaten this up a lot nicer than what they've got. So it's like that. Then end if, and then if wizard is that. Consistency helps when doing HTML. Else, that will be down there. And if, all right, cool. That was just Nightbot. That should be the next button. All right, cool. So we've got the float right button, button link. All right, easy done. If we go back to here, we hit refresh. I am just going to click on the top. Straight off the bat. All right, cool. We've got these. Oh, they don't look nice. And good morning. How are you, Owen? Hopefully you're going well. So yeah, we're just fiddling around with this, realizing that holy hell, I've just broken stuff, but that's perfectly fine. We do have a cancel button now, so if I go cancel, boom, back here. However, I might want to override that. So if the user clicks on cancel, it doesn't actually take the user all the way back to the dashboard. It'll take them back to the user profile. So let's go back here. Let's go profile information. And then what was it? I've absolutely forgotten. It was just two-factor. All right, cool. Oh yeah, we've got to set up this page. That can wait next. So we've got this. Now I'm just going to have a look in here. We're going to override these buttons with the bootstrap sort of stuff. So this is part of the submit row. I don't know why they're taking up. Let's have a look over here. Ah, yes, I've made a little boo-boo. Easy boo-boo to fix. Actually, what did I call MD12? Alright, whoop. Alright, and then we just add in another div there. That should fix that up. Alright, I'm gonna hit refresh. Boom. Perfect. Alright, so we have the cancel. We have the back and next. I honestly, you're going good. Just working on side projects with API stuff, breaking at the moment. Fair enough. Hey, you gotta break stuff to fix stuff to actually learn how to do it. All right. The amount of times I've broken Linux, just learning Linux, and then I've learned why it didn't work and stuff like that. You know, it is fun times. It is fun times. All right, so we've got a float right here. That, of course, doesn't work. We actually have, if we go into here with the update task, we've actually got that as save changes. So what we probably want to do get bootstrap. Okay. The save changes, that's a very old code. We might take that out eventually. Actually, I want float right. Float end might be better. All right, let's have a look. Yeah, I think that would be better. So we want to come up here, the cancel, we're going to get rid of that, that's fine. We've got a button link, that's fine. This button, name wizard, go to steps, type separate class, button secondary, we want float end, and we also want a float end with that particular button. This is back. We've got 2 backs. Oh, this is disabled. We'll need to float end that one too. So they're all the way over there. Now this is why we use the oh god, I've made a horrible mistake. That was a button within a button. I'm gonna do that. Alright, cool. Now I can get rid of those buttons up here. That's easy done. I don't know if they need to be in the form. Worst case scenario, if we need to actually have this all in the form, I'll put the form at the top and the bottom. We need this in the form. Alright, and then that cancel. The cancel URL. Alright, I think we've got an override for that. What's the stack? So the stack is Django for the backend and VueJS for the front end using Bootstrap. So yeah, you need to submit, it needs to be within the form. Yeah, I'm gonna cheat. I know, pure evil. But that's fine. Alright, that should do the forms, render the forms out. That should do all of that. So if we hit refresh now and we go next, boom. Alright, cool. Yeah, in this sort of case, I don't think... I would love to be able to build all of this in the front end and have an API deal with all of this. I think that would be a lot easier. However, that being said, this is perfectly fine. I'm just editing Django forms and so forth like that. It just means that every single time they hit the button, the page just refreshes and stuff like that. So... yeah, I'm going to put please click the next button. Okay, so if we use, please select which authenticator you want to use. Let's start with the token generator. Let's go next and let's figure out what we need to move over. To start using token generator, please use your smartphone if you can. For example, use the Google Authenticator. All right, and then we'll have the token there with the token underneath. Alternatively, you can use the following secret to set up TOTP in your authenticator or password manage. Alright, cool. I will have that underneath the image. And that can go under there. Alright, cool. So over here, we can hit update and this doesn't load and stuff like that. You can do this. You can actually upload a document. I am just going to upload the Phillip Island, upload that. The page doesn't load here. And what I'm using is Ajax to do all that. And Django can actually handle all of that. What I actually have is I've got an API. Well, I'm building an API to do it, but I've also got my custom sort of endpoints that I just send the data to. And then VueJS handles all of the changes on the front end. So it is actually possible to set up Django to actually do that. My recommendation is Django is the backend, Django API, RESTful API, or something similar. Or you can custom build it like we did here initially. And a front-end framework to actually handle those particular changes. So yeah, it is very possible to set it up so that these pages won't just constantly load and stuff like that. In this sort of case, I'm using a plugin that has been built here already. They've set it up like this, which is fine. It's just that for these particular pages, which won't be viewed by the users that often, we just have to work with that. So yeah. Yeah, sometimes you can win battles and other times you just have to be like, all right, cool. In this particular case, we got to do this. So yeah. All right, we're on the setup page. It's this one we're editing. So to start there, generate the token, all right, cool. So I am going to put a p class equals text instructions. We're going to state alternatively, now actually what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to yank these two lines and I'm just going to paste them in, and then I'm just going to do this and then get rid of that. Fair point. But isn't it easier to just use React Vue with Node? Depends. I don't know Node, so I'm going to say no. For me, and that's a no from me. However, if I did know Node and stuff like that, I might actually give a different answer. So yeah. Oh, Node is just JS. Alright, yeah. But I'm trying to think of another backend that I don't use. Ruby on Rails. If you said Ruby on Rails, I would also say no, because I'm just not familiar enough with Ruby on Rails and stuff like that. So yeah. JS outside the browser. Oh yes, it's JS is everywhere now. I think it's one. Alternatively, you can use the following. Not the following secret. You can use the TOTP TOPT to secret to set up your authentication in your password manager. Okay, then enter the token generated. Okay, so now this, we're commenting this one out for the second. I found a thing that was embedded JS. Oh god, sounds like Nightmare Fuel. Yeah. I mean, I don't mind JS or anything like that, but yeah, it's surprising that it's now just everywhere. So yeah, considering oh, I dropped my cube. Considering where it came from. Built in like something like 14 days. You know, was considered a toy language at one point, I think. Alright, these socks. Yeah. Alright. Alternatively, you can use the following secret. We're going to move that out. Okay, we are going to go class equals text instructions. And I realize I've missed this for one particular point. And I think your authenticator should supply a token. Please enter the token generated by the app. All right, cool. Oh yeah, we should be doing that. We really should be laying this out properly. All right, so the one after 14 days was not the JavaScript of today, though. Very much better. Yes, yeah. What's block trans? I think that's block translate. I think I'm keeping it in, but I'm not 100% sure. And hello, Mama Isil is Lee. Mama is Lee. Welcome. So I do hope you are enjoying my content. We're just setting this up very quickly. Cool. From Turkey, Mamas. Welcome, welcome. I want to learn Python. Is it hard? No, it isn't. The only hard thing about doing it Python, for learning Python at the start is actually setting up your virtual environments, or you could be like me and you just don't do that. I do set up my virtual environments now, but when I was learning, I didn't. We recommend free Codecamp. For learning, there are multitude of tools out there. It's just free Codecamp's free. So yeah. Looks like you should only have block trans if you have vars in it. Well, I'm just copied and pasted their code. So I don't know why they've got it like that. At the moment, I'm just going to leave it in for the moment. We can delete it at another day. I just want to get this out at the moment. So, doing all this, we've done our welcome, we've done our method, we've got our generated. We need to copy this one. We need to go down into this particular one down here. So we've got our form, we've got our input submit hidden. That will help with the hidden stuff. And then I'm going to paste this in. We've got to bring this down by 1. And then we should... this has got to go actually at the top. Token generated page. I tried one time with Python. it do macro for game, but when I try to press the keyboard, it's not working. Okay. I'm not sure why. I haven't actually used Python to make a game or anything like that. What are you trying to do with Python? Like, are you trying to build a game, or are you trying to do, like you said, a macro for a game so it does something within that game? Or you could build a website. You can do a lot of things with Python. Okay, so up here we've got this that we want down here. So I'm just going to paste that in, and this, and I'm going to paste this in, and we're just going to undo those. We're going to select those. We're going to keep it like that for a second. So I'm going to go back over here. I'm just going to go boom like this. We're going to go next. We're going to go token generator. We've got that, and I think that looks a lot better. I don't know why that is. Okay. Macro would depend on how it hooks into the game, so it's not the normal experience in any language yet. Alright, we do have an incoming ad. I've just realized it's almost 10:30. I'm going to crunch a little bit more out of this just because we're actually done quite a lot tonight. It's been great. Alright, so I am going to be happy with this. I'm not going to go next because it does its own thing. We're just going to go. I'm just going to go cancel. I'm going to go back in here. We're just going to refresh. We're going to go next. We're going to have a look at the email. Alright, cool. So, it hasn't sent us anything about an email in here. What we've got to do is we've just got to have the two-factor have a little bit of information. So, scrolling up, text alert generator. I am going to do this. Wizard.steps.current equals, I'm assuming email. I mean, it would make sense if it's email. P class equals text instructions. Alright, cool. And then what this would be, I'm just copying what they're doing. Alright, we have sent a token to your email address. Please add the token to... Please enter the token. Please enter the token sent to your email. Alright, cool. I can't spell email. La, 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 la. I'm going to get rid of all of this. I know there's an ad break. I will jump on that in a second. Alright, ad time. Cool. Yeah, I think that's going to be the last ad break. We're going to plow through this as much as possible. I am having a look at, are they... Oh wow, they're still going. Alert. Okay. Got 0 day also. So I'm just looking at who we could potentially raid soon. So yeah, anyway, we've got to quickly do this cube. All right. There we go. Done. I think we're back. Yes, we're back. Welcome back, everyone. All right, cool. So we're going to go over here. We're just going to restart this again. All right. Whoops. Not complete. Thank you very much. Let's go back to two-factor. All right, there's a lot of things that we've got to do to fix all of this up. I'm just going to hit refresh. I think we accidentally added something in to the dark email. We haven't confirmed it. I'm going to delete. I'm going to go yes. And then I'm going to refresh. So enable two-factor, and then we go next. We're just going to go email. We're going to go next. Sends me an email. And no, that didn't work. All right. So we've still got a lot to do. Sorry, I'm just running out of steam because I just realized it's 10:30. I like that Zig has comp time, so macros are just written in Zig. Seems like a good idea. Fair enough. I have not played with Zig yet. So many languages have their own language just for macros. Seems odd. Yep. Alright. I'm just trying to think. Can I breakpoint this? Oh, alright. So it looks like whenever it sends an email, it does that. But, alright. And Nedbog, how are you going? Yeah, I just haven't used Zig yet, so one day, I'll sit down and start using it. Enable two-factor authentication. All right, cool. We're gonna go next. We're gonna go email. We're gonna go next. Does its thing. So I think because it's an email, it says, we didn't hit that breakpoint. Oh. All right, so I need to actually add in instructions here when we're doing with this. I realize I also don't have the line in there. And 85 Filter, how are you going? Long time no see. What you been up to? All right, so just trying to think. I'm gonna go to their code. We've got this set up. So we've got current method, generator, SMS call, which we definitely aren't doing any of those two. Validator. Validation. All right, no, we don't want that in YubiKey. I was hoping there was going to be an email one. Been really busy with work, had to wake up a little bit early, chasing deadlines. Damn. Yep. Well, yeah, our daylight saving ends soon, so we go back an hour. So at the moment it's going to be 9:30, and I will be streaming to another 30 minutes next week. So yeah. All right, I've got a plan of attack. People are going to hate it. I know that. I don't care. I am going to go down here and I'm going to go wizard.steps.current. Told you, people are just not going to like that. I'm going to delete dark admin. From there, I am going to go up here. I am going to click on setup. We've got welcome. We've got method. We have validation. Oh, all right. So if I have a look at this, we've got validation here, challenge accepted, device.method. All right, so yeah, I did need this in there. So not a problem, we're just gonna paste that in right now. So scrolling up, we're gonna go down here. We are going to paste this in. I'm gonna remove that. And then what we're going to do so we're going to copy this. We're going to paste it all the way down here. Wow. We're going to do that, and then we're going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So we're going to go 8 like that. Realize that's kind of mucked up. Do all of this and just do that again. So device call, device SMS. So we're going to ignore all of that for the moment. If device.method equals email, I'm just going to go down here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I'm just going to do that. And then we're going to end if. This will be the else, and this will be the end if. It's gonna be email no matter what, so we don't need that. We just need that. All right, sweet. So, got this all set up. Now, that should not be in here. So what I'm going to do, 2 to 8, all right, cool. So I'm going to put that down here. So if wizard.steps.current equals validator, whatever it is up here, validation. All right, and then in here, it's if, we actually have it right here. So we want 6, 7. All right, cool. So yeah, sorry, I've just got to just tighten this up a little bit. Sweet. Let's have a look. Now, because we've done this, once again, we've got to go back here, refresh this. We've got to do dark admin, and yeah, I don't think it needs that token being passed through, but that's perfectly fine. If we do this, we've got this, and then we just go next. We've got that, we email the token, we just go next. And then please enter the token we sent to your email. Once again, we'll format this out nice. But at the moment, we're happy with that. This should actually be just, yeah, a simple div. We'll format it so the div all lines up and all that kind of fun stuff. So we should get our email in here. I'm going to do this wrong. I'm going to change that to a 3. And I'm just going to go next. A invalid token. All right, cool. And then we hit next and we go enable two-factor. All right, sweet. Congratulations, you successfully enabled two-factor authentication. So yeah, this is looking good. I'm quite happy with this. I'll need to test the reCAPTCHA and all that kind of stuff. This is slowly coming together. Once again, we're overriding quite a lot of things and doing this and doing that. So yeah, what was the site you just used right now? This is NearBeach. Or what are you? Or are you talking about Mailtrap? So we used Mailtrap to sort of send all the test stuff. Yeah. So Mailtrap's awesome. We use it to for testing and stuff like that. So all of the emails that are generated on our locals go to Mailtrap. It doesn't matter who they're being meant to send to. It essentially just goes into one place so you can actually test the system and see all these emails and stuff like that. So yeah, you can see like there's password resets that we send to it. There's one-time tokens and all that kind of fun stuff. So yeah. Anyway, I am gonna raid someone. I'm just seeing who we can raid. We raided Togbit. I think they're not feeling well. All right, I know who to raid. Cool. So yeah, we're gonna raid on, but it's been a productive night. Yeah, thank you very much, the Bob I know. We are going to raid Keybind. So I will bring this up. Oh, I'll wait till the ads are over. I'll get all of that already. Yeah, I don't. This is. For those on YouTube, this is why we run the ads so we don't get these pre-rolled ads. So yeah. Oh god, they're so many. But yeah, no, we've been productive today, which is good. I was hoping to get all of this done by today, but no, we didn't. But that's not a problem. We know what we're going to do and stuff like that. Anyway, we're going to hit the raid. We're going to start raiding in a couple of seconds. So yeah, it's been awesome. Got stuff done. I do hope you enjoy Keybind's stream. So yeah, I'll just... Oh, there's that bug. Yeah, that was a weird bug. Yeah, anyway, thank you very much everyone, and I'll see you next week.
We can't insert the file multiple times.
And yeah, thank you very much everyone on YouTube. Sorry you can't join the raid, but I'm hoping to see you next time. So yeah, thank you.